G'day movie lovers and welcome back, and today have I got a psychological thriller for you. Today we're going to have a chat about the new movie Hallow Road. Now I got to see the trailer and it really had me interested, and I tell you what, once you finish watching this movie it left me definitely inside twisted up and with a lot of questions that needed answering. This movie was definitely on the psychological level, and I would definitely suggest you go out and watch it. But first, let's get into the plot of this one. And just to jump into it, me and my wife thought it was a very slow start to a movie, but that's actually how it sucks you in. Now, it starts out following two parents, Maddie and Frank, after they received a frantic and strange phone call from their daughter Alice.
When? When did this happen? Just now?
What's going on?
After she might have accidentally had a car accident and hurt somebody, possibly unalived them. But luckily for Alice, her mum happens to be a trained paramedic and she starts telling her what to do immediately over the phone, while Frank goes outside, starts up Maddie's car, gets it ready, and they head off to Alice to try and save her. Now, as they're travelling on their way to, try and help Alice and save her, their daughter, Maddie and Frank are arguing in the car between themselves on actually what to do, because Alice herself is on speakerphone, but they keep putting her on mute and having little arguments between them of what to do, which is one parent wants to call, the authorities, the police, the ambulance, and have it all sorted out the proper way, while one parent sort of knows what's actually happening and doesn't really want it to go that way and would rather try and hide the fact of what happens and end up eventually wanting to take the actual blame for the accident that happened.
You can't cover this up for her.
I'm not.
The police will find out.
The police will believe what I tell them because they'll have no reason not to.
So you can see in most of the travelling that they're very torn between the morals and protecting their own child, which I don't know which one I would be more leaning towards. But as they're travelling on, a lot of the times the phone keeps cutting out and cutting back in for Alice. And in one of those conversations where it cuts back in, she actually confesses to them that she's actually under the influence of a substance.
Alice, what have you taken?
It wasn't a lot.
And then it really starts to unfold. After she's told him that she's under the influence of a substance, she can actually see headlights coming down the hill, and she actually thinks that it's her parents.
Dad, I can see you.
What was that?
I see you. I can see your headlights through the trees.
But they're realistically still over 30 minutes away, and before they could even tell her not to do it, she's jumped back in her car and flashed the lights trying to signal them, hoping that it was their parents. But we all know, because if you're watching the movie, that it's actually not their parents, and now she's in a little bit of strife.
No, turn them off! Turn your lights off, that's not us, that's somebody else's car!
So this is where it gets a little bit freaky, and we've got to be real about this. In the movie so far, Alice has taken this car, gone out for a drive, accidentally hit someone, possibly killed them, and now she's told them that her parents that she's under a substance and not really, she shouldn't have been driving at all. Well, now that there are people coming, her dad starts freaking out because realistically he was the one that was going to take the blame for it, and he starts screaming down the phone at Alice that she actually has to move the body off the road into the forest, otherwise she's going to get caught.
You're gonna go right now, you're gonna get her body off the road and hide it in the woods somewhere outside.
Frank, she can't do that.
You have to or it's over!
Listen to me.
For Christ's sake, before they're there!
And she did actually try CPR earlier in the movie that her mother was telling her what to do, but obviously it didn't help that much. So reluctantly, after a bit, Alice decides, yep, she's going to listen to her dad and she's going to drag the body off into the forest. And now this is where, it gets a bit creepy. As she's dragging the body into the forest, all you start hearing after a little bit was Alice starts freaking out. There's a scream, a really big crunching noise, and then Alice screams out, her face is changing, and then all you hear is her running off into the forest.
Her face is changing.
What do you mean?
And of course, as usual movies, that's where the phone cuts off and leaves both parents, Maddie and Frank, in the car who are still travelling, very frantic and not knowing what's happening. So they keep trying to call back Alice to see what's happening, and eventually after a little while, she answers the phone, but she's not alone. There's another lady in the background who sounds like she wants to help, but you just get this gut feeling that something doesn't feel right.
Not many people come into Ashford when it's this cold, especially not at night. Where we are is almost as deep as you can get into the forest by car.
So now Alice has realistically 3 people on scene, 2 people she doesn't want on scene, and her parents know about this, to the point where even her parents have jumped on the phone to try and talk to this lady into leaving because they're on their way and they can help their daughter, and obviously it's because they want to sort of possibly cover up a crime.
Hello, can you hear me?
You're this girl's mother.
Yes, I'm Alice's mother. I'm here with my husband. We've been listening and we understand your concern. Alice has just had a rough night.
But this lady just seems weird, and especially with her dialogue, what she implies when she's talking, like she wants to help you, but honestly, it almost feels like she's a secret little killer or very cult leader.
Do you know why it's called Hallow Road? Because these are sacred grounds, full of myth and lore.
Traveling around the forest at 2:40 in the morning is just weird to me as it is, and way you hear her over the phone is just really creepy, and it ends up that she doesn't really want to leave the scene, but eventually does.
You want us to leave your daughter alone? In the forest? In the dark?
And that's when things start to really unfold that are really, really creepy. And I don't want to give away too much because I don't want spoilers. I want actually people to go out and watch this movie because it actually really surprised me on how good and genius this movie is. But after the people, finally reluctantly get back in their car and decide to leave, they tell Alice to get back in their car, but it doesn't end up well. It seems like the people that were there have other ideas and they come back and you hear a window smash and they grab Alice.
Window, darling!
And then the phone cuts out again, and of course Hattie and Frank are just left frantically in their car hauling. Like, that's the time when you get to see Dad or Frank's dad mode come out, I feel, and it shifts down to him shifting gears and putting his foot down, and that car just accelerates to get there as quick as he can because he heard his kid in trouble.
Frank, slow down!
Which I feel any parent would do in that situation, but it's just trying to keep a cool, calm head while you're doing it and not crash the car, I feel. Alrighty, just like to jump in there and have a couple of my thoughts about how I felt about this movie. Yeah, obviously I felt it had a slow start, but that's what you need so it gets you sucked into this movie. Like, realistically, yeah, there's no action in this, but it makes it more intense somehow. There's no action at all in this movie to the point where, to be honest, most of this movie is actually filmed from inside a car. You don't actually get to see Alice, the creepy lady, or anything else that happens, or even by the time they actually get to the scene where the car is, they don't actually stay there for that long and they travel on because something's happened. Don't want to give away too much, but you've probably already guessed that one. But it'll definitely have overthinkers exploding because the twists and turns and the overall genius in this movie is outstanding. Like, originally, I thought it was going to be a bit more along the lines of parents going out to the crime scene and actually helping out. It might have been a crime scene or, going out into the forest and, helping sort of cover up the crime. But it wasn't that at all. Like, it didn't even get to that. That was the whole point, and it leaves you with so many questions. This is actually one of my favorite movies of this year, and I don't think it's going to get that much, hype for it because there's a lot of other good movies coming out at the moment. But I feel this movie is definitely going to be one of my favorites and a 9 out of 10. Definitely the lack of action brings forward this very hardcore drama and intensity. Being a parent myself with 3 kids, at some stages I even felt myself leaning forward or gripping on because you're listening to this phone call and it's almost making you start fret yourself even though you're not actually in the movie but you're watching it. It draws you in, and that is the genius of this movie. There may not be a lot of action happening, but the drama, the dialogue, the intensity is just all there, and it's a really epic film, and I don't say that often, but this one actually really had me. And I would definitely suggest going out and checking out Hallow Road. Now, as always, I'd just like to jump in there and say thank you to my subs for liking and watching my videos. I appreciate and love you all. I love doing it, and I'm hopefully getting better at it for you. So if you have any tips or tricks you want me to do, let me know. And for anyone that's new that's watching that's made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe jump over to my page and check out some of my other videos. You might just like them. And as usual, I'll catch you guys on the next one.